Hi, I'm Tim Rock Reigns, and you're watching Eric Live on the Air.
Stop the rock, can't stop the rock, you can't stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Stop the rock, can't stop the rock, you can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock, you can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock, you can't.
One thing that I found really interesting, and going through, like looking at, I looked at a lot of your stats, going through everything, and your name has popped up so often since the steroid era, because everyone suddenly began that we were like, okay, all these players kept hitting home runs, they must do this. One guy that hasn't done this and is like, you know, if you ask this guy, he's in the Hall of Fame, and this guy, he's not in the Hall of Fame, is you. Your name has come up a lot, and it's kind of interesting that it came up so much then because people realized, well, obviously he didn't do that because, you know, he was stealing 91 bases. If you take steroids, you're not going to steal 91 bases, you're going to hit 91 home runs.
Yeah.
But, you know, and to ask a player, do you think that you're Hall of Fame worthy is probably like a weird question to ask, but I mean, like, listening to the debates that are being made, and they're still being made, like right now, because the Hall of Fame is coming around the corner. I mean, like, is it flattering? Do you ever like take into account what they say and say, you know, they're right. I think I should be in the Hall of Fame. Or,
Well, I feel like that I had a Hall of Fame career.
Okay.
I look at it that way. I feel like when I played the game, I played at the top of my game, at the top of the game. You know, when you think about when I played, there wasn't many guys that were better than me as a player. And when you look at it that way, over a 23-year career, you know, when I played, people try to do everything they could to stop me.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're one of those guys, okay, we can't let this guy beat you, we can't let that guy beat you, can't let that guy beat you. I was the type of player that they didn't want to beat you.
Of course.
So, and for a long time.
Well,
and I
you
think
could do it all.
that's the reason why I feel like I belong with some of those guys that are in there. So, I can't tell a reporter that I absolutely 100% deserve to be there.
Yeah,
but
I don't vote, so you can tell me whatever you want.
You know, looking at the numbers and looking at you know, my career, I feel like there's a chance.
Yeah. I mean, would you be upset if you weren't?
I wouldn't be upset because I just feel like I wasn't a first ballot guy, and you know, a lot of times, you know, 3,000 hits, you know, 500 home runs, 600 home runs. A lot of times, a lot of RBIs, you know, 300 wins. Usually, it's automatic.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys who don't have that are in there.
Yeah.
So I just feel like looking at it that way, I feel like I got a chance.
You were a season and a half away from guaranteed, because if you would say the season and a half more full time, you probably would have had 3,000 hits.
And I think, you know, in 1999, I was diagnosed with lupus. I ended up having to like spend a year and a half out of the game and then come back. And actually, I came back and had 2 more good years. So, you know, injuries played a little role towards the end of my career. And I felt like if I'd have gotten to 3,000 hits, I wouldn't be talking about it.
It would have been first ballot.
I'd already be in there. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, sometimes, you know, you just kind of fall short physically. As you get older, things get a little different. And but, you know, I still feel like I did enough.
I mean, when you say, and when you think about the fact that you did get diagnosed with lupus and you overcame the disease, you took the 2 seasons off. It was 2 seasons, right?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. You took a year and a half off, and you came back, and it wasn't like you came back and you were, you know, like, okay, you were half the player that you used to be. You came back and you were playing like Tim Raines.
Exactly.
I mean,
I was a 300 hitter that next year I came back. And I played every day. I got hurt too. You know, that I was a major league player.
Yeah.
You know, and
Not because of your name, but because you deserve to be there.
because, you know, and I was a starter. So I mean, it wasn't that, you know, they just gave me a job.
I mean, there were plenty of guys that you could say
I
that
had to
did
make-
that. But
I had to make a team, and I played. So, and then one thing about, you know, being a, you know, professional athlete, you know that one day it's going to come where it's time to go. I think being a player that walked away when I wanted to, instead of someone telling me, okay, man, you can't play anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so looking at it that way, I feel like my career ended the way I wanted it to, and if I had to do it all over again, I would